All right, we are back with the last or semi-last episode of Unlimited Blade Works. Yeah, let's just get into it. The land below him is like a wasteland he once walked on. There's nothing here. There is nothing, as everything was blown away from the mountaintop. The battle has ended. The battle for the Holy Grail has ended, and the curtain is about to fall on his battle as well. He does not know how long it was, but the accumulated wish that should have bound him forever is gone now. The end quickly permeates into him and takes away his body's form. Archer! He looks towards the voice. She should not have the off to a great start already. She should not have the energy to run, but she is running with ragged breath. He watches it in silence. The girl that ran up to him looks up at the night. The red cloak fluttering in the wind shows no trace of what it used to be. The cloak is cut everywhere, and his armor is cracked and torn. His existence is weak. Standing there haughtily, the knight begins to disappear from his feet up. Archer? The rising... I kind of want to lean out of this a little bit. I'm just going to be looking over this way because I don't want to be, too in the way. Archer, the rising sun is in the distance. A golden light is emerging from the horizon. Too bad. Well, hang on, I'm going to turn my mic as well. Too bad. Well, that's what happened. Give up on this Holy Grail, Reen. He must not have anything special to say. The Knight in Red says trivial things. Actually, I'm not going to worry about being too into it. Because it's just my shoulder and a little bit of my hair that's covering the image. We're fine. That gets to her all the more. The knight who is about to disappear is still acting like before. He is her partner that she spoke cynically with, ran through the battles with, and trusted her back to. She can declare that those days were fun. And it is still there before her eyes. He has remained in this world to save her at the last moment. He lost his master and received the King of Heroes. And received the King of Heroes' noble phantasms. His body was disappearing, but he did not come to her and ask for help, and he instead watched over this battle. And the end is in front of her. Archer. The girl cannot think of what to say. It is always like this for her at the most crucial times. She loses her cleverness when it counts the most. The knight smiles a bit. He knew that from the start. The clumsiness of the girl is a dear memory for the knight. What? You don't have to laugh at me at a time like this? She looks up at the knight. Oh, excuse me. It's because you look so terrible. I was just amazed at how worn out we are. He smiles while he talks. She gets a lump in her throat after seeing his regret-free face. The instant she wonders if he should really disappear. Archer, form a contract with me again. She says something she shouldn't. I cannot do that. I do not know if you will keep your contract with Saber. but I am not qualified for that. I do not have a goal anymore. My battle ends here. His reply is free of doubt, and his will is strong. His face is as bright as the rising sun, and how can she force him when he's making a face like that? But you won't be saved. The girl swallows her words and hangs her head. That is not something the girl should say, and it's not something that is solved by keeping the knight in this world. Man, I do not have any attachment to this world, but it's troubling to have her cry. For him, the girl always has to be a positive, indulgent realist. He was always encouraged by her figure, so he wants her to stay that way until the very end. Reen. Gosh, this art, the lighting in this is so beautiful. The girl looks up at his voice. Her face looks cute, trying to hold back the tears. Rather than expressing the attachment he feels, he looks at the boy lying in the distance. Please take care of me. I think you know, but I am unreliable. Please support me. The knight says so as if it's somebody else's burden. Those are words of parting. The future might change if a girl like her stays with Emiya Shiro. The hero Emiya should not be born. His words contain such hope. Archer. But even if it ends up that way, the already existing knight will forever be a guardian. The boy and the man are two different existences. They only have the same starting point, and he is an ideal that the boy dreamed of. There is no salvation available for this knight. There is nothing to give to him, as he has already died and become a phenomenon. She nods in spite of that. She cannot give him anything, so she will give him her best smile. He asked her to take care of him. She smiles so that she can answer the trust he put in her. Yeah, I know. I'll do my best. I'll do my best so that he won't get twisted like you. I'll do my best that he will be able to... so that he will be able to like himself. So you should also... Forgive yourself. She does not put it into words. She looks up at the disappearing knight with a flood of emotions. How much salvation did it bring? After engraving the girl's smile into his memory with pride. I found my answer. It's fine, Tosaka. I'll do my best from now on as well. A breeze. The knight has finally rested his wounded body without waiting for the girl's reply. I never got to complain to you. She wipes away her tears and talks to the one who is not there. Her voice is clear, and the girl is standing firm again. It is only natural. She does not have time to be depressed after he made a face like that. She says goodbye to the ground that the knight was standing on and runs to the boy laying on the ground. Without the golden sunrise, the smile he had was like that of the boy. Dang, dude, that was beautiful. Sorry to ruin the moment. Epilogue. Yeah, this is the final episode. Let's go. We did it. We made it to the end. I sometimes recall the fight. The crying spirit and the sparks flying off of the clashing swords. My attacks were immature, and it's not something one could call a sword dance. We were both clumsy and do not know of retreat. The ridiculous sounds of clashing swords were annoying, and I have no memory of them. At that time, I lost an answer and found an answer. So a plus and a minus makes a 0. Nothing has changed. He's him, and I'm me. I'm just watching this fading dream. It's been only a month, but it feels so dear now. It seems like it happened so long ago. The memory of it is fading day by day, and I can't even remember what the person I was fighting looked like. But that is to be expected. That was something that was impossible from the start. We did not believe that the fight would change anything. We just tried to beat each other to ascertain ourselves. So there's nothing to gain from victory. There never was any such thing. The loser comes to an end, and there is no prize for the winner. Man, it really was good for nothing. But I can still recall if I close my eyes. The echoes of unrefined metals. A dazzling distant technique that knew no retreat. It was our beliefs that crashed against each other. I fought against my own ideals to carry out my hope. The result is not clear yet. I don't know who won or which of us remained. It should be a while before the results becomes clear. An illusion, like a mirage that disappears when one turns around. Only the reverberation remains, and my feet will eventually reach. Wake up, you fool! Everyone else has already left for the assembly. Are you going to boycott it even though you're at school? My body is being shaken. The voice brings me back to reality. I forgot his name, but I was going to be like, is this him doing this? Wait, why are you here, Issei? Issei. I almost said Ida from My Hero. I raise my head and look at my classmate. Why? We are in our classroom today. We are in our classroom. Today is our last day, and it is 10 minutes before the closing ceremony. I came to look for you since I did not see you, but I did not expect you to find you here sleeping. Oh gosh, I am struggling so much with this. I'm so sorry. I don't know if he's in a hurry or just plain angry, but Issei yells at me. We're the only ones in the classroom. It's 9:50. The closing ceremony starts at 10 o'clock, so I bet everyone's at the gym already. Hey, are you really awake, Emiya? Yeah, that woke me up completely. Thanks, Issei. I'm glad you came to wake me up. It's fine if you understand, but thank me later. We won't make it unless we hurry. We do not want to think about how angry Fujimaru-sensei would get if she finds out we are not there. Oh, gotcha. I can't face my classmates if Fujini gives us ridiculous amounts of homework before the vacation. I'll make sure to calm her down. Please, we will be too ashamed to face her classmates if she gives us more homework. I am sure they will curse us. He sounds scary, but the frightening truth is that it's very possible. The actual homework she gave us last summer after we got her mad was ridiculous. It wasn't even English homework. What was she thinking when she told us to enter any competition to win a medal? Emiya, we have to hurry! Sorry, I'm coming! We should hurry to the gym for now. It only takes 3 minutes if we run. We should make it 5 minutes early if no teachers find us. No, we cannot run in the hallway. I was too optimistic. As expected from the student council president, he is really committed as he is following the rules even now. That's splendid, Issei, but we won't make it if we walk. Let us hurry without running. We can make up any excuse as long as we are there on time. I nod and walk faster. We are in the middle of March and the sky is amazingly blue. Fuyuki City has long winters, but spring is finally... Oh my gosh, that's a long winter? Middle of March? Oh my gosh, this is basically how it was across all of the US. I don't know if this was affecting the rest of the world too, but like it was... It's kind of still going sometimes. It was pretty cold the past like 4 days as of March 10th. So, I mean May 10th. But spring is finally around the corner. The days went by quickly. It's been a month since the Holy Grail War. The city is back to normal now. The Holy Grail has been destroyed, and most of the damage caused by the Masters was taken care of by the Church. The person that came as a replacement for Kotomine is old but energetic, and everything was smoothly settled. But one can see the after effects of the battle here and there. Kuzuki Suichiro, the person that chose to fight as a master, is considered missing. Issei was sad that the one who he treated as his older brother was gone, but he suddenly showed up at the temple to start with. It is only fitting that he leaves the same way. Issei just laughed it off. The surprising thing is Fujini, and it turned out that they often drank tea together. She complained that she wanted to fight him once, so she probably would have been destroyed. I'm sure Fujini is incredible at fighting, as implied by every other character, but like, well, I guess that was him amped by Caster, so maybe, I don't know. So it seems Fujini knew that Kuzuki was a master of martial arts. Shinji's life has been... Well, okay. I got a notification that scared the crap out of me. Shinji's life has been saved thanks to Tosaka, and he's currently in the hospital. I guess the hospital is part of the Magic Association, and he's getting better. Sakura is busy visiting Shinji, so she's been showing up at my place only on the weekends. I went to check up on them once, and they were getting along surprisingly well. You know, I don't think Shinji deserves it. I feel like a lot of people deserve second chances for things, and a lot of people get too mad about, like, very little things. But with what Shinji has done to Sakura, for at least the past, like, what is it, like, I want to say at least 8 years, he doesn't deserve a second chance. I don't know if that event took something out of him, or if he's just unenergetic from the wounds. Either way, Shinji is ironic but honest, and he's acting more like the Shinji I first got to know. Saber is not here anymore. She left this world after destroying the Holy Grail. Something constraining her must have been released when she destroyed the Holy Grail with her own hands. It's vexing that I cannot say goodbye to her, but I should be glad that she's freed from the binding of the Holy Grail. If I ever do see her again, I want to thank her as much as I can. So, and finally, the most important person. Tosaka! Right after we get down to the first floor. Oh, Student Council President! Are you patrolling the building at this time? Or are you taking care of the club rooms? I'm getting tired of saying this, but you really are diligent. We meet up with the person representing the students at the closing ceremony who's coming out of the teacher's office. I am also tired of hearing that line. Try guessing something else for a change. Or do you keep saying that on purpose? Issei glares at Tosaka. Of course it was on purpose. What, did you not realize that until now? Oh, I see. I thought you had more sense of humor. But I guess you really are a blockhead. That was her saying that, I realized halfway through. I am very sorry. I always use the same greeting to show my affection for you, but I guess it's hard for you to understand. What do you mean by affection? I have not done anything that deserves your affection. Come, Emiya. We will be late if we concern ourselves with this fox. Issei sure doesn't get along with Tosaka. Well, I feel the same way, so I'm in no position to feel sympathy. So, our eyes meet as I walk past her. We decided to act normally when there are people around. I naturally ignore Tosaka and follow Issei, but... Good morning, Amiya. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you seem well. I don't know what she's angry about, but she embraces my arm and puts on a big smile. My head goes blank. It's because even though we've been seeing each other, this is the first time we've touched each other in a month. Oh, whoa. Tosaka. I was just like trying to put that in mind, like seeing each other, but haven't touched in a month, like not even like held hands. Like that's so cringe. I try not to blush as I bear the sensation of her touch. I'm joking, but it is true that I am happy, Emiya. Oh, let's go home together after you finish helping out the student council after the ceremony. I'll keep on waiting in my classroom. Tosaka puts emphasis on keep on waiting. What are you saying? Let go of him already. Wait, was that a copy-paste expression from Saber? I mean, I'm pretty sure like she's had that face before, but that looks incredibly similar to the same expression Saber has. Like too similar, not like it's drawn by someone. I don't know. It has nothing to do with you, Ryudo. Excuse us, I am busy as well since I have to make a speech in your place. Excuse us, I am busy as well since I have to make a speech in your place, Student Council President. What? Tosaka leaves, leaving behind the footsteps of a victor. What was that about, Emiya? What is your relationship with that fox? Well, it's hard to explain. First of all, I think I told you before that we're acquainted. That was a month ago. I warned you to cut your ties with her. Oh, I get it. Does she hold a weakness of yours? Well, I guess you could call it a weakness. His heart. I knew it. Dang, I cannot let you go now, Tosaka. Consult me, Emiya. Confess, Emiya. We shall give that fox her due punishment. Issei shakes me. Look at the time, Issei. The ceremony's starting. I do not care. The ceremony starts out with a speech from that fox. It shall be mentally good for us to not hear it. The student council president keeps shaking me. Issei is normally calm, but his personality changes when it involves Tosaka. Tosaka must be his natural enemy, but... Sorry, Issei. I'm sorry to let you down, but I can't do anything about Tosaka. She'll beat me instead if I go to beat her. You shouldn't go near her. That is a rare negative comment coming from you. Is the weakness she's holding that bad? I'm struggling so much this episode and I apologize. It's the last one and I'm doing such a terrible job. Unfortunately, so I'm leaving you to take care of Tosaka. I know it's a hard fight, but please do your best. I see. Alright. Do not worry, Emiya. It is for the good of our school. I shall reveal her true identity and overthrow her. She seems to be planning something with all the athletic clubs, but the student council will be ready for her before the next year is out. The real match starts then. The student council president smiles in anticipation. But Issei will be graduating in a year. Huh, neat. The ceremony comes to an end, and the school starts to lose its liveliness. Spring break has started. Most of the students have left with a smile, and the students in the athletic clubs are getting ready for their training camps. There aren't that many students left in the building. All the classrooms are empty, and the hallway is tinted in red. So, you're finally done, huh? Issei makes you help even on the last day. I'm sure that's his way of getting me back. An empty classroom. Tosaka smiles and says so as soon as she sees me coming into the red-tinted Class 2A. Hey, that's because you did that ridiculous thing. I would have been freed a lot earlier if you hadn't gone and said needless things. I complain as I go into the classroom. Why is it so awkward to go into someone else's classroom, even though they all look the same? What? Are you saying it's my fault, Shiro? Half of it is definitely you. Look, you're the one who said we should act as strangers until next year, since everyone would get suspicious. So why did you do such a thing? You don't mind a bit of a running start since this year's over, right? First of all, there are other ways to ignore me. We weren't in a cafeteria or something. We were the only ones there. So at least give me a nod or something. I don't know why she's unhappy, but Tosaka looks away and complains. Is it because of the evening sunlight? Her familiar gesture looks so fresh and cute that I'm fascinated. Man, here, I got this, but do you want it? I show her the orange juice that was distributed among the helpers. Oh yeah, I'll take it. Good, you're considerate about things like this. She receives the juice box and takes a sip out of the straw. She's sitting by the window. She looks down at the campus as if she's watching something bright. I follow her example and look down as I drink. It must be the track team that's running. They sure are energetic running like that when spring break starts tomorrow. Hey, were you on the track team before, Emiya? Then, Tosaka suddenly asks me a strange question. Track team? No, I was always in the archery club. I see. Well, I guess there are times like that. Seeing the setting sun just reminded me. Telling me to forget about it. Was it when he did the high jump? Tosaka continues to drink the orange juice. Hang on, I need to wipe my nose. It's for some reason been so itchy today. I'll forget about it if she wants me to. When she calls me Emiya-kun, half the time she's going to make a sarcastic remark, and the other half she's going to say something really important. I'm sure in this case, it's the latter. After a month of studying magic under her, I'm finally starting to recognize her habits. But time sure flies by. It's already been a month since the Holy Grail War ended, and you became my apprentice. At this rate, I'm sure a year will fly by as well. It's been a month since Tosaka started teaching me the basics of magic. I've been busy with hard work and Tosaka's malicious nature, but she's right now that I think about it. I just feel like there should have been a comma there. This past month sure went by quickly, so I'm sure a year would pass in a flash. A year, huh? We'll be leaving the school at that time. Yeah, today would be my last time in this classroom. I'll be in a new classroom starting in April. And just like that, I'll be going to a new place in a year. Tosaka holds her knees and looks down from the window. A new place, huh? What will I be doing for a year from now when I graduate? Hang on, I need to grab a foot. I have a little foot cushion because I do so much sitting at my desk, and I needed it because my back was starting to really hurt. Even though I'm sitting up as straight as I can be. What will I be doing in a year from now when I graduate? No, I don't even need to think about it. There's only one thing I must do. I need to make my ideal come true just like he did. And well, there's one other big goal right now, but I don't want to think about it since it's irritating. What will you be doing after you graduate, Emiya? Are you going to succeed your dad? Well, that's true, but I want to become a proper Magus more than I want to succeed my father. I can't boast unless I'm a proper Magus. Oh? And to whom are you going to boast? She smiles as she asks. My other goal is to make her admit defeat. It doesn't matter, right? My goal right now is to become a proper Magus, and that's why I'm your apprentice right now. Please give me your best regards for the next year. Oh, you sure are optimistic. You think you can become a proper Magus in a year? I was ready to teach you for 10 years when you became my apprentice. But I see, you're fine with just one more year, huh? 10 years? That's great, but... No, that's not it. That's a really long way ahead. Wouldn't you get tired? Nope. As your goal is to become a proper Magus, my goal is to make you a proper Magus. I have it all planned out in my head. Who knows, you know? I have it all planned out in my head, you know? Shall I write it down and give it to you? Well, that's great, but I guess that's impossible. You're going to succeed your dad, right? Then that means you'll be staying here after you graduate. Yeah, but what are you going to do? Your family supervises this town. You can't leave this town, right? Me? I'll be going to London after I graduate. I got an admission recommendation because of what happened, so I guess they're letting me in without any tests. What? You mean that London? The headquarters of the Magic Association? Yep, there's a limit to what I can do here, so I'm thinking of studying there for about 5 years. I hear that my dad did the same thing, and it's natural to go to the highest institute of education if you want to be a proper Magus, right? I'm stunned. It's so sudden that my head blanks out. It's natural for Tosaka, who's a legitimate Magus. I finally realize the difference in our positions. London, huh? That's a really amazing thing, right? I don't know. It's vexing, but it's not because they approve of my powers. I was only invited because of my dad's achievements and because I'm the last one alive. She speaks casually, but I'm sure it's an amazing thing. But London, huh? That's certainly too far away. My father wasn't in the Magic Association. I'm just like him, and I don't like formal stuff. But you don't have the qualifications to enter in that case. I'm sure they'll test you if I recommend you, but I might be able to move there. I can start working more. I can start working more, study English, save up traveling and living expenses, and find a job there. Oh, I think that was his mental dialogue. I know you're not enthusiastic about going there since the Magic Association is your enemy, but the clock tower is proper equipment, and it's really well suited for training. Oh, but you have to keep your reality marble a secret, so I guess they'll test your basics. Whoa, would 1 year be enough? No, let's say I am able to rent an apartment there. I don't know what kind of place the clock tower is, but I'm sure... No, let's say I am able to rent an apartment there. I don't know what kind of place the clock tower is, but I'm sure Tosaka will get even busier. Then it should be better for me to go there after I become a proper Magus by myself. Yeah, that sounds good. First of all, London isn't suited for me. I bet I'll faint if I go there and it's filled with people like Kodamine. Hey, are you listening to me, Emiya? Were you saying something, Tosaka? Tosaka frowns and shuts her mouth. So, after taking a deep breath, she makes a serious face and... I forgot to tell you, but I'm being invited as the successor of the Tosaka family. In other words, I can get a proper room as a proper Magus. She says something strange. I'm telling you that they approve of me as a proper Magus, so it's not unusual for me to have an apprentice or two, right? There are factional disputes there, so I'm allowed to take at least one of my apprentices. Tosaka sneaks a peek at me. That's... I may be blunt, but I know what Tosaka is trying to say. In a word, yup, I can unconditionally take one follower as an assistant. You won't have to take the test that way, and you'll be exempt from tuition fees. Well, but you'll be in the disadvantaged position, because you'll be a student at the Magic Association without being a part of it. My head resumes its thinking. No, I forced it to start working again. What Tosaka is telling me, I put every cell in my brain to work, to weigh the options I have. I must look funny as Tosaka is giggling. What? I'm not considering going there because you talked me into it, okay? Is that all you want to tell me? Well, I'm going to London. She looks kindly at me. Then Tosaka makes a mischievous expression. So, what will you do, Shiro? She asks me gently with eyes that see through me. My face turns red. Her words and expression blow away my humility and my dislike of the Magic Association. This is what I mean by Tosaka holding my weakness. I can't help it if I fell in love with her. Oh, why go silent now? I haven't heard your answer yet. She keeps smiling mischievously. She knows what my answer is, but she's mercilessly attacking me. To be honest, London is too far away, but I can't imagine myself being taught by anyone other than Tosaka, and I never even thought about parting with her. Most of all, I want to be with Tosaka. Be clear, this is important. Will you still come with me, even if it's as my assistant? She looks up into my eyes. She looks so attractive that I feel my heart will pop out of my mouth. Shut up, you idiot! You idiot! 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 If it's so important, tell me about it in a more appropriate place. I can't answer you when it's so sudden. I don't know what'll happen to me if I keep staring at her, so I look away. I still feel Tosaka's presence. She's happily watching my reaction. Hey, Shiro. What's your answer? She murmurs gently. She's got me beat. Is it this hard to nod and reply honestly? But I can't turn around unless I say it to her. You idiot. Don't ask such an obvious question. I meet Tosaka's gaze and tell her my honest opinion. Her smile broadens at those words. Okay, then please give me your best regards from now on, Emiya. I'm going to train you until you become a proper Magus, so prepare yourself. Same to you. I took that seriously. I want to get taught by you until I become a proper Magus. Of course, I want to make an honest man and have you lead a happy life. I won't allow you to give up just by getting taken to London. Where did her previous prettiness go? She says so with a daring smile and jumps off the desk. The sunset should end soon. Spring break will end, April will come, and another year should pass by quickly. We will part with the scenery until then. After a year, Tosaka and I will spend our final days of student life here. Let's go home. It'll be a lively dinner at your place today. We leave the classroom without any lingering memories. We can still hear the club's activities from outdoors. The sounds are far off, and they remind me of the sword fight. I can't stay in the same place forever. Tosaka and I will be going someplace different in a year. It should be a while before I find out if it's the right choice or not. I recall that red figure one more time. Neither this classroom nor that fight will change. Everything is the same. Everything is an illusion like a mirage that disappears when one turns around. But I can get there if I aim high. I will surely be able to catch up to his back. I will surely be able to catch up to his back with Tosaka's help. So I'll come up with an answer at that time. The swords that echo far away. By relying on those sounds, I shall eventually reach that place. Walking with the wind blowing on your face, walking towards the future. Busy days with no compass to guide you. After traveling to distant exotic countries, you will return to the place you belong one sunny day. Okay, well. Ooh, I love this. I love credits that are just like, here's just a cool art of everything that happened. I love it. I mean, I guess it's like, for this kind of thing, it's the same as just having moments from like the series play, but whatever. Anyways, really quick, while this is going, I just want to talk about like this as a whole. Unlimited Blade Works. It's I'm tempted to say it's my favorite route in general. Like, I loved the Fate route, and I did like the Heaven's Feel trilogy of movies, but it felt a bit rushed. I feel like, because if you think about it, like, a lot of people had complaints about like the UBW anime just because they claimed it was rushed. It didn't have all the things in it, and it was like 26 episodes, you know. Whereas like the movies only covered are like half of that time essentially. Like, and they're beautiful movies, absolutely gorgeous, like probably like the best animation I've ever seen. Like, it's like, I just love it so much. And even with saying like they were a little rushed and it's probably not my favorite route, they're still incredible. I went to see the finale, the final one, twice in theaters. And it was so much fun both times. I loved it. I had to drive like 30 minutes to go see him too. So good. The Zev guy who didn't do anything. So I'm excited to see the visual novel of it for it, because I'm sure like I'll probably end up liking the visual novel version of it more than the movie trilogy. Which, if so, then it's like, I don't know, they're all so close because they all have such different aspects of it that I like. Like, I love the atmosphere of the Heaven's Feel trilogy. Like, it feels so much more like horror-esque, if that makes sense. Like, they're just like, not necessarily like darker themes, but like, I don't know, it just gives off like horror-filled vibes, and I really kind of like fantastic. Like, the way I describe like my favorite vibes for like a story is like, oh, is it time for me? Answer? Whoa, what was this? What is this? What came and went were distant memories. They were signs that he forgot and cast away, something that cannot be returned. The sparks of the crashing swords, crashing spirits. Many dozens of unskilled attacks and defenses. They were clumsy attacks that just tried to deny each other. Why did such a thing revive a worn-out oath? They were impossible attacks. His charging body is covered in wounds. His fingers are broken, his limbs are slashed apart. His breathing has stopped, although the boy does not know it. Even at a rush, his speed is trifling and his attacks are mediocre. Although he has absorbed his combat skills, his techniques are now as clumsy as an amateur's again. His attack is executed haphazardly, but his attack is heavier than any that came before it. There is no superhero. The boy's mind is obliterated by the one who grew to realize that fact more than anyone. The distorted mind should collapse from the stress. It is obvious that the boy will be devoured by his contradiction. But where are the signs of his defeat? He moves his wounded body and steadies his faltering mind, but there is no hesitation in his attacks. His fury is incomparable to before. The boy swings his swords recklessly. The attacks are equally matched. The space is filled with sparks, and everything entering it will be cut to pieces. It is the embodiment of their minds that melt together, even though they repel each other. The desperate attacks. It is only a dying spark that a man gives off in his last moment. A boy gasps with each attack, almost falls, steadies himself, and attacks yet again. Seeing it, he is confident that his enemy has no power left. The boy in front of him is a corpse, but why is there infinite power in his arms holding that sword? He sees an illusion. It must be because he got bored with seeing someone attacking, even though he knows it is useless. The irritation boils up his most detestable impulse. What did he feel was beautiful and noble? The boy said that he does not want to see people dying meaninglessly. He wanted to save everyone who was in trouble, if they could be saved. It is out of the question. He knows such a wish is just a meaningless hypocrisy. An ideal where others are more important than yourself is an ideal that should never be held. But did he ever not dream that such a life would be wonderful? He cannot hear what his enemy is saying. His enemy's voice is too weak to be heard, but his attacks are fierce. The enemy's hands are already one with the hilt. It must be to fix the sword there, but the impact will go to his body like that. The boy is covered with blood, and he will die if he retreats. For the boy, every attack comes with great pain. The voices are hard to pick up. The boy, who is on the verge of death, frantically opposes the impediment in front of him. He does not need to be told where the boy's motivation is coming from. It is a bad dream. He is shown an old mirror image. He keeps swinging his sword with tearing arms, and the only thing there is a strained yell. There were people that cannot be saved, and there was him who could not save them. He saw people dying meaninglessly, and he swore never to let such a thing occur again. There is only one thing that comes and goes through his mind. Things he believes in. Things he believed in. An ideal he swore never to surrender. Something he will never surrender. And so, he realizes that there will be no end to the attacks. This enemy will not stop. The enemy will never stop on his own. Even though the boy is attacking with all his power, he is taking no notice of him. The boy is only trying to slash himself, the one who obstructs himself. His enemy is fighting for the things he believed in and for the things he will keep on believing in. Realizing that, he grits his teeth. The boy keeps challenging. The boy keeps challenging even though he knows he cannot win and that it is meaningless. That is the exact mistake he made. But then why? Why do these eyes keep on staring at him? Another crashing sound. The attack is parried. The enemy that could not block any attack repels the attack like nothing. The mirror breaks. He is not strong. He is not strong at all. He fights, risking his life, looking ugly and miserable, but who in the world can laugh at him? He stops his breath, parrying the oncoming attack, and readies his sword again. A final blow. Will the boy stay standing in spite of all his wounds and strain on his mind? Of course. The boy overcame such limits 10 times. It is obvious that the enemy will not stop even if this attack is blocked. The boy slashes his swords even though he is collapsing. Those eyes. They are looking straight at him. He sees a familiar dream for an instant. Whose dream was that, and who inherited that dream? The boy's voice reaches the empty mind. A single scenery closes in. What an ugly, fanatic goodwill. A beautiful ideal to struggle for. The final blow is coming in, but the man does not watch the sword that is about to pierce him. That is the only thing on the boy's mind. Even if his heart is a fake, the beauty of what he believed in is real. That is something he cannot lie about, and it is the origin of his powers. The boy cries out with a smashed throat that he wants everyone to be happy. Yes, there's no road of retreat, because the daydream is... He has made numerous mistakes. He had no way to atone for them, except for hating and killing himself. His hands are covered in blood, and it is something that can never be forgiven. But still, a straight gaze, mistakes and lies, shaking off everything, running on without stopping. The battle ends with a victory. The pain in his chest does not lift up his conviction. As the man hates himself, salvation will never be given. But he earns a small answer. The answer is only for this summoning. It is a meaningless thing that he will forget the next time he is summoned. Aye! Whoa, 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 whoa! But there's nothing to regret. It is something that has already been built up. Something that the boy will build using all his life. There's only one thing coming and going through his mind. There is regret. He does not know how many times he wished to redo things. Heroic Spirit Emiya will forever curse this end. But still, I was not wrong. Is that saying that Heroic Spirit Emiya was not wrong in regretting his actions? Or is that saying that Shiro wasn't wrong? There's nothing to talk about. The boy will remain, and he will leave. The only things that remained are the exchanged blows. The path is long. Relying on the sounds of swords echoing far away, the boy heads for the deserted plains. Fiend. Final route, Heaven's Feel, is now open. Oh, I have chills. We're on the final route. We're on the final route, baby. Um, yeah, that's exciting. But yeah, anyways, so my favorite, what I was saying was my favorite kind of vibe from something is dreary fantasy or dour fantasy is what I call it, where it's just kind of like very sad, tragic, messed up, terrible fantasy stuff that's simultaneously beautiful and has so much like hope in it, but is like also just depressing the whole time. I describe it like the first like kind of game that comes to mind is like Twilight Princess. That comes to mind immediately because I started playing that a while ago, and it's like it fits that vibe so perfectly. And Fate fits that super well, specifically like I'd say like the original trilogy of just Fate Stay Night, UBW, Heaven's Feel, and Fate Zero all fit that kind of dreary vibe very well. And aspects of FGO does, but I wish it would lean more into that, because I love it when Fate gets dark. Which it does, like especially in like the Lost Belts, I feel. But I just kind of love that kind of vibe, and I feel like Heaven's Feel leans into that vibe more than the other two routes do. So that's why I like the vibe of Heaven's Feel the most. But in terms of story and character and everything, I think that UBW is my favorite. And I think, honestly, Fate might be a close second. And that's just because I like Sakura, but just from the movies and, like, everything else, because, again, I haven't played the route, I like Rin and Saber so much more, and I love Archer, and he gets so much focus in this route. He's one of, like, Shiro, Archer, and Saber are like three of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Like Saber was already kind of up there, and then the Fate route just propelled her even further up that list. And Shiro and Archer are like tied way up there. Whenever like I even think about like who's my favorite fictional character of all time, Shiro and Archer just pop into my head because in my brain they cannot exist separate from each other because of UBW. But to talk about like this route in general, I think I still prefer the anime version. I'm not gonna lie, but that's because of two main things. One, a lot of people talk about how they don't like Shiro's portrayal in UBW, the anime, because I feel like his survivor's guilt wasn't portrayed very well. But I don't know. From the first time I watched it, that's just kind of the vibe I got from him. Like it wasn't something that was explicitly stated, and I haven't watched it since I originally watched it like 5 years ago now. 4 or 5 years ago now. So I do really want to rewatch it, but I kind of want to wait for the summer, maybe take a little bit of time off from work to just rewatch Fate Zero, UBW, and Heaven's Feel. But I kind of want to wait till I finish the Heaven's Feel route before I do like a big Fate rewatch. You know what I mean? And dude, Ufotable, as soon as you're done with Demon Slayer, like I love Demon Slayer, I love it. For me, season 2 was the hypest show of the year by like it wasn't even close. Attack on Titan Sundays turned into Demon Slayer Sundays as soon as I started watching season 2. So, you know, you could take a few more years on it, finish it up. You know, I hear people are like, yeah, there's only going to be like 2 or 3 more seasons at most. Fate route, please. I mean, granted, they also announced that they were doing a Genshin Impact anime. I need a Fate route anime, man. Done by Ufotable, man. I love it. I love it so much. So I need that. But like the main, like, so like I didn't have that like takeaway from the anime of like that decreases its value. And I feel like I kept in the most essential parts while also adding certain things that I loved. Like for me, I brought this up back when we did the Shiro versus Archer battle, but I way prefer the anime version. Like in this, it was still really good, but it was hard to not constantly be comparing it to the anime stuff. Just because I love the fact that there was just like an entire episode in the anime, almost 2 episodes of the anime of them just fighting in Unlimited Blade Works. There was that great moment of Shiro and Archer kind of going through their memories and how all of that was portrayed, of how like they were like, you know the thing, that's hell that you're walking, hey, that's hell you're walking into. Them saying that to each other, like Like, that whole thing right there might be like my I don't want to say it's my favorite scene in like fiction, but it's close. I love everything about how their fight was executed in the anime. It perfection in my eyes. Like, I don't know if I would change a single thing about it. It's incredible. Like, again, it's only a fight I've watched like once or twice, but the impact it's had on me, like, I can remember it so vividly. And it, like, whenever I think about it and like I listen to like Brave Shine or like any of like the only problem I have with it is remembering the music exactly, but Brave Shine just fits it so well. I'm pretty sure it was played there, because like whenever that song comes on, it just like the whole thing just plays through my mind of like Shiro getting knocked down, them like going through the memories, him summoning the swords back, and then going in for the final confrontation against Archer. So good, so good. And then I don't want to be mean, but I was really let down by Shiro versus Gilgamesh. That was really not, like, that did not live up to my expectations at all. Like, you know, the first bit was fine, you know, like the round one, I'm going to call it, before they go into Unlimited Blade Works, where it's just kind of Shiro getting knocked around till he summons, what is it? Rio Ias? I'm so bad at pronouncing it. And starts blocking all the swords, and then they go into Unlimited Blade Works. Like, that's round one, and then round two is in Unlimited Blade Works. And like, it's, you know, you can't be like, well, it's just words and a few pictures compared to like one of the most beautifully animated fights ever made. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not comparing that. I'm comparing like Shiro versus, I mean, I'm sort of am in saying that I like the fight in the anime better, but I think it's just comparing it to like other fights in Fate. Like, I love the way, like, I thought that the fights were going to be super boring just because, like, not all writers in purely text-based fiction, like, I mean, I know that there are some pictures, and they do use, like, the limited assets that they have very well to help emphasize action, but it's, like, 90% just text. And I think Nasu / the translators of this did an excellent job. Like, I get so excited whenever fight scenes happen. I think that they're all so good and so exciting. Like, maybe some of like the best like written like text-based fights I've read, that sort of thing. So like, I was genuinely so hyped to go into that fight in Unlimited Blade Works, and it just kind of ended, and that whole thing felt very, very fast. Like, in the anime, I'm pretty sure, like, even after the fight, which, you know, was an incredible fight in the anime, there was even, like, a little bit of, like, time, like, I don't know. It allowed itself time to breathe in the anime. Like, everything that happened from, like, fighting Gil to the thing appearing on Gil to Gil, like, trying to chain up Shiro and everything. It allowed itself time to breathe. That right there was the first and only time I've ever felt that the visual novel was trying to rush something. It felt so incredibly rushed. I couldn't even. It's insane. I don't get it, because that's the climax. Like, thinking about like back to like the Kodomine, the climax of the Fate route was like so much better handled than that. Like, it had time to breathe. It had the gravitas that a finale to a story that's like this long deserves, you know? Like, regardless of what your like the opinion of is on like Fate, like, if you're going to dedicate like your amount of time, like the amount of time to the story like this, the ending has gravitas because it's ending, you know, and it's huge. Like, imagine, like, regardless of what your opinions are on One Piece, if the One Piece fans go away from like, say, like, whatever the final battle is, going like, it was really rushed, you know, like, you know that that's a disappointment, because it's like, it's been like over 1,000 chapters, almost 1,100 at this point. When that has its final battle, it's going to have gravitas. It like needs it at that point. And I felt like Shiro versus Gil, none of it was there. But even with that said, it, to me, like, they're so close, but like, those are just like the two key things in my mind that put the anime over the visual novel. I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people love to hate on the UBW anime, even though if you think about it, UBW anime, better adaptation than what like 95% of stories get in general. Like, think about like every manga where the anime heavily deviates from the source material, gets its own anime non-canon ending, or just every series that comes out, animation is just like two PNGs sliding at each other, that kind of stuff. Like, if you compare that to like the amount of work and effort that went into UBW, along with just getting Nasu in on there to help with it all, like, I don't know. I feel like Fate fans are almost spoiled with UBW. Like, the fact that they can look at that and be like, this is a terrible adaptation. It sucks. It's like, okay, yeah. Even if you don't think it's a good anime, as an adaptation, I'd say it's better than again, like 95% of what every other show gets. You know? Like, I'm not saying, like, again, that's purely in terms of adaptation, not in terms of like the actual quality of the show itself. Because, you know, like, other shows will be like, let's just take like again, like, using One Piece as another example because I've already used it. To me, One Piece is my favorite manga of all time, least favorite anime of all time, because the adaptation, the way they adapt it, is horrible. Of adapting a chapter an episode, nothing happens in an episode, and every moment that should hit doesn't, because it's been stretched out so long. Like, I watched the recent episode that had everyone losing their minds of Sanji versus Queen, and like the last like 3 minutes, it's flawless perfection. The 17 minutes before that, I was bored out of my mind. It looked pretty enough, but everything else about the way that the story was handled felt dragged out. Like, yeah, again, the animation was, you know, I mean, it was good. It was good, especially for a show that's been going for almost 1,000 episodes now, straight without break. Like, the fact that they can produce an episode that looks even half that good, and the fact that Wano's consistently looked that great is insane, absurd even. But, like, it's just like the pacing was not there. And I would say also, like, the direction of the most of the episode just didn't hit. Like, again, after Demon Slayer, one of the reasons I love it so much is because, to me, it's like excellent direction, the cinematography, just to like make the way that Demon Slayer is handled in general, and the way like, for me, UBW and Heaven's Feel are handled is like, it's one of the few shows where I feel like completely engrossed into it while I'm watching it, because of the way it's directed, from the sound to the sound effects to the music to the cinematography. Everything just engrosses me into it. And along with that, especially with Demon Slayer, the pacing is phenomenal. Like, season 1 felt a little too slow in the beginning and way too slow at the end, like specifically like the last like 6-ish episodes. Season 2, I was never bored. It didn't matter if it was the 6 episodes action scenes at the end, or if it was the entire first 40-minute episode of just falling, like, not falling action, but like sort of licking your wounds, like just people talking to each other for 40 minutes basically. Never bored for a single moment, because it knew the amount of gravitas, I keep saying gravitas, the amount of attention and the way to perfectly portray every moment. And that's how I feel about UBW. So again, as an adaptation, UBW is better than, like, I'm only saying 95% as a general, as you know, a non-committal kind of term. I'd probably say 99%, just because, again, there are better shows, but in terms of like something being elevated by being adapted, or just how it's adapted to the screen, because, you know, a lot of manga especially will just be like shot-to-shot recreations, which isn't like the worst thing ever, but like the way manga is framed is different from an anime, so like doing that, you know, for a lot of the time is good, but then they'll also have some awkward moments with it. I don't want to go too much into this anymore, but yeah, that being said, I still loved this. Incredible, absolutely phenomenal. I'm so excited to get into Heaven's Feel. We're going to be taking a small Fate break. We're going to be doing The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, which shouldn't be too long. I think it's only like 6-ish hours. So if there's voice acting and I don't have to read every single line, then we should be done with that in a few weeks. And then we'll be doing Please Be Happy, another visual novel that I absolutely love. I played the demo of it. So good. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and do it. After The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, we're going to be jumping into that. And again, with me not having to voice every single line, it's a lot easier on my voice, so I can record for longer episodes in those. So yeah, we'll also be moving through that faster than I do through Fate. And if I do enough of those fast enough, then we'll be able to have some decently longer episodes for Heaven's Feel. It's just hard because if I ever fall behind, it's just hard to catch back up with Fate because again, it just destroys my voice doing it. Like for too many episodes back to back to back sort of thing, which is the easiest way for me to record things is just bulk record at a time. So yeah, hopefully we'll be done. I mean, not done with Heaven's Feel, but starting it hopefully by maybe early to mid fall. Again, depends on how long Please Be Happy is. I don't know. But yeah, with that all being said, I will see you guys. And if you guys don't watch that, that's totally fine. I know that there are a lot of people who are here just for Fate, and I doubt anyone's even watching to this point. But if you are only here for Fate and you're going to wait till then, thank you so much for watching. This has been absolutely incredible, and we are 2/3 of the way through Fate Stay Night. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.